If you are one of the many who suffered from food poisoning because of contaminated peanut butter, you may be entitled to a cash award.
If you were hospitalized or if someone you know died from contaminated peanut butter, call attorney Jim Adler right now.
If this has happened to you, keep the jar. If you've been hospitalized, you may be entitled to a cash award.
Some Peter Pan and Great Value peanut butter has been recalled. Keep the jar and call attorney Jim Adler now at 713-777-4000.
That video that you just saw is what us Gen Zers like to call childhood trauma. But for real though, what the hell is the story behind this eerie video / commercial that you would see in a late October 2005 night when you're 7, staying up past your bedtime when you should be in bed, and next thing you know, some really creepy ad pops up making you unable to sleep for the whole night? Well, that's what I'm here to discuss today, so make sure to get a snack, kick back, and without further ado, let's jump into this very interesting story behind this commercial. And I think where we need to start is in the history of the peanut butter at question, Peter Pan peanut butter, being released in 1920 by the Swift End Company, who since 65 years before the creation of Peter Pan peanut butter had been releasing and creating iconic food items well before 1920, and with their extensive experience in making and releasing food, they had struck gold with Peter Pan peanut butter easily being their most popular food type for the time, and for decades on end, the Peter Pan peanut butter brand had been dominating the peanut butter market all throughout the 1920s to 40s. However, come the 1960s to 70s, Peter Pan peanut butter had started to play second fiddle to the now peanut butter powerhouse Jif, but that still didn't stop their success of Peter Pan peanut butter, still getting ads and being featured in mainstream publication back then. So I think it's clear, even with its dipping popularity, Peter Pan peanut butter was going nowhere. And come the 1980s and 90s, their popularity was still at an all-time high, and come the 2000s, it remained the same, even 80 years after the release of the Peter Pan peanut butter brand. And of course, with the iconic advertisement figure of Peter Pan peanut butter, of course, being Peter Pan, it would make being kids' and parents' favorite peanut butter due to Peter Pan's innocent and hero-like status. So in other words, when a parent is at a store with their kid, let's say grocery shopping in the hunt for the essential food items such as bread, milk, and of course peanut butter, it would make sense to get the items that your kid would want, badgering you the most for, more than likely the item with the cartoon or wacky character on it. In turn, for the future, you would be most likely to get the item for next time, which of course, cereal being the best example of this type of advertising. Point is, what put Peter Pan peanut butter above the rest, such as Skippy, Great Value, and of course Jif, was their very friendly family-like appearance when it came to other peanut butter brands. However, in February of 2007, that family-friendly image would shatter when it would be reported from over 47 states that over 600 cases of poisoning would occur linked to the Peter Pan peanut butter. And when this was discovered, ConAgra quickly got to work recalling the Peter Pan peanut butter brand off of store shelves, including, but not limited to, Walmart, Target, Safeway, Trader Joe's, and the list goes on and on and on with how many stores were believed to be potentially carrying the deadly Peter Pan peanut butter. So with this, a large-scale nationwide recall for the Peter Pan peanut butter, and more specifically, Peter Pan peanut butter jars containing number codes of 2111. The reason why this was due to investigating where the contaminated peanut butter was coming from. They had taken multiple jar samples of Peter Pan peanut butter and had discovered that the jar number containing 2111 was made with the brand contaminated with the peanut butter and was produced and made in a plant in Sylvester, Georgia, where soon following this discovery, the plant was shut down. However, that didn't stop the thousands of Peter Pan peanut butter jars that were already out there. As well as this, there were reports of Great Value and even Jif brand peanut butter potentially also being contaminated with the salmonella outbreak. So with this attention that the recall effort was getting, now not just from Peter Pan peanut butter, but from multiple peanut butter brands, a man named Jim Adler, who's known for being a personal injury attorney located in Texas, saw the attention that this recall was getting, so either to cash out, get justice, or do both for the people affected by the salmonella outbreak, decided to release this ad to the public. But regardless, investigation to discover how this contamination happened and how far back it went would occur, and it would soon be discovered that this contamination of Peter Pan peanut butter would have happened around October of 2004, where soon following this, the FDA would advise all consumers of the product to discard the Peter Pan peanut butter, also to not consume, and immediately throw out any Peter Pan peanut butter products you have. And as for how it happened is not 100% clear. However, judging by the most common ways salmonella outbreaks happen, that by being facial, oral, or foodborne bacteria, and also by animal transmission, are just some of the most common ways that salmonella outbreaks and any food-related illnesses would occur. And when you consider the fact that the location of the plant was in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, where I'm sure there's a high wildlife and insect rate due to its lack of people living in Sylvester, Georgia, and obviously with its industry-like culture when making food products, and I imagine the industry town being in the middle of the South, they probably had a very low safety and sanitation sanitation standards when taking care of food, so it would only make sense an outbreak of this magnitude, no less, would occur. In turn, where on the day of February 14th of 2007, a recall size would occur, and this mess up would cost ConAgra over $11 million in damages to the people affected by the contaminated Peter Pan peanut butter. Unfortunately, it was reported that 9 people did die due to the salmonella outbreak, and one of the most notable stories involving this recall was when 3 women who went to the courts to plead their case, testifying that all 3 of the women suffered from gastrointestinal illness after eating Peter Pan peanut butter all around late 2006. And one of the ladies even claimed that to that day, she suffered from lingering health problems, even a decade later. The judge, sympathetic about what happened to them, but awarded them no money. And one of the women would go on to say, quote unquote, "This is an injustice done all over again, especially 10 years after waiting for justice," said the woman named Mona McComb said. So, she would go on testifying furthermore that before Christmas of 2006, she had eaten Peter Pan peanut butter and had gotten extremely sick, where she would in turn go on to blame ConAgra for her mother's death that would happen just 3 months later. Unfortunately, none of them were tested before, during, and after they got sick from the salmonella outbreak to prove it. As well as this, it was reported that around 8 years after this salmonella outbreak occurred, ConAgra Foods was forced to face criminal charges for their negligence, or soon after being charged. A subsidiary of ConAgra Foods was soon to plead guilty to a criminal charge and will be required to pay the largest criminal fine in food safety history. It was also reported that in ConAgra files, the company had already paid over $31.7 million in charges related to the peanut butter recall investigation over the course of the past 4 years. But going back to 2007, with much to the dismay of the public, it would be reported that Peter Pan peanut butter was going back on store shelves, with ConAgra saying they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all Peter Pan peanut butter products, with ConAgra seeking to reinsure the trust and confidence with consumers, with the company also saying they fixed the original reason that allowed the salmonella outbreak to contaminate their product in the first place. Further saying they didn't know that the peanut butter was contaminated with salmonella, but what's weird is in documents involving ConAgra, they knew peanut butter that was made in the Georgia factory had tested positive twice for salmonella in 2004, around the same time that the first outbreak involving the Peter Pan peanut butter occurred. However, ConAgra officials blamed moisture from a leaky roof and a malfunctioning from a sprinkler system had failed, in turn helping the outbreak grow, with ConAgra spending over $250 million on upgrades and adopted new testing procedures to help screen for any potential contaminants that would happen in their peanut butter. However, legally in some respects, ConAgra did get away with not being legally responsible for over 150 people who had filed paperwork seeking financial restitution, with all 150 people believing that they were sickened from the contaminated Peter Pan peanut butter. However, none of them were able to prove that they were sickened by salmonella from eating the recalled Peter Pan peanut butter. In turn, these charges were thrown out by the judge overseeing the case, but what the judge overseeing the case said that others had already received compensation from ConAgra and other settlements, which the judge said totaled to be around $36 million to around 810 people. So take that as you may. So where is ConAgra, Peter Pan peanut butter, and even Swift End Company for that matter, in the modern day? Well, to start, ConAgra as a brand has gotten past the setback of a catastrophic PR nightmare, with them in 2023 as a company still going strong, and the same could be said about Swift End Company, or what is now rebranded as JBS, the creators of Peter Pan peanut butter. Well, Swift End Company stayed pretty silent during the whole Peter Pan peanut butter outbreak crisis, and it makes sense after all, because during the summer of 2007, when the Peter Pan peanut butter outbreak was in the full swing of it, Swift End Company at the time was being bought out by the company JBS for around $1.5 billion, so I imagine to not mess up any business dealings for the buyout, they would probably stay silent on the controversy as a whole. And as for Peter Pan peanut butter, it easily got the worst side of the controversy, with public trust by the public as a whole being shattered, with Peter Pan peanut butter products typically being overstocked on store shelves, or just outright taken off of shelves, being discarded by whatever retailer is selling them. And around over 8 years after the Peter Pan peanut butter recall occurred, a man named Stuart Parnell, who at one point was a well-known executive for the Peanut Corporation of America, was found guilty for knowingly shipping out deadly Peter Pan peanut butter when a federal judge sentenced him to 28 years in prison, although in 2022, Parnell was reported to get out of prison, but was subsequently denied parole. So with this happy ending to this rather dark story, I think I'll leave it here. It's very interesting what just a small error in food safety and just safety overall could amount to, and the long-term ignorance and precautions of those small mistakes are all byproducts of it. But with that, I hope you all have a great day. Hey everyone, so I kind of just wanted to make this quick little extra outro just to kind of thank y'all on the extra support I've been getting on the channel. It really means a lot, you know, like I said, it's a really small channel, but still, I mean, shit, just the amount of views and just the, increase of subscribers I've been getting and all that, it really just means a lot. It's not anything major or anything like that, but still, every little bit counts in my opinion. So that's kind of just what I wanted to thank y'all for. Liking, subscribing, doing all that just really helps me more than you could possibly imagine. And yeah, I've been working really hard to make my videos better. I'm working on multiple videos right now that I'm sure y'all will enjoy. If you couldn't tell, this video is obviously a lot sharper in terms of editing. I've been working with an editor to make my videos just better for y'all in general. So that's kind of where, I hope y'all come in to kind of help me out, just like I said, liking, subscribing, sharing, all that. It helps more than you could possibly imagine. And like I said, every little bit of the support, I really appreciate it, and it just counts more than you could possibly imagine. But, just wanted to update y'all on that. And, as all my outros go, I hope y'all have a great day.